My name is Riley Carter, and the summer I turned 14 was the summer I learned what family really means. I was standing in the driveway of our home in Raleigh, North Carolina, watching my parents load suitcases into the trunk of a rental SUV. My older brother was already in the back seat wearing noise-canceling headphones, bragging about the beachfront villa they'd booked in Santorini, Greece. 2 full weeks of white buildings, blue water, private tours, and sunset dinners. I wasn't going. Mom pressed an envelope into my hand. "You're responsible enough to stay home," she said like it was an award. "There's $60 in here for emergencies. We'll send more if you need it. You've got the house key, the bus card, and the neighbor across the street in case of real trouble." Dad squeezed my shoulder. "This trip's important for us. You're mature. We trust you." Then they drove away, waving through the window like I'd just been handed freedom instead of abandonment. At first, I told myself it was kind of cool. No curfew reminders, no arguing over TV channels. The house felt quiet but manageable. I made a list on the fridge: breakfast, homework, dishes, trash day. I wanted proof I could handle it. The first grocery run cost more than I expected. Basic things: milk, pasta, eggs, fruit, added up fast. I tried to be careful, but prices don't care how careful you are. By day 4, half the envelope was gone. I messaged Mom asking if they'd sent the transfer. No reply. Instead, the family group chat exploded with photos. Mom on a cliffside terrace with champagne, Dad grinning on a private catamaran, my brother diving into crystal clear water, captions like "finally living" and "best decision ever." Not one message asking if I'd eaten. I stared at those photos while heating canned soup for dinner, and something inside me shifted. It wasn't jealousy, it was invisibility, like I'd become background noise in my own life. By the end of the first week, the $60 was gone. I stretched rice for days, skipped breakfast, drank water to feel full. The promised transfer never arrived. I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't want to look dramatic or needy. They trusted me, right? I was mature. But maturity doesn't buy groceries. My math teacher, Mr. Halpern, noticed first. I'd logged into summer prep sessions looking exhausted. My assignments were sloppy. During one video check-in, he paused and said, "Riley, where are your parents?" "In Greece," I answered. "For how long?" "2 weeks." "And you're alone?" The silence after that question felt heavier than any lie I could have told. So I told the truth. Within 48 hours, a social worker named Miss Alvarez was standing in my kitchen looking at an almost empty fridge. She wasn't angry. She was calm, professional. She asked simple questions that had complicated answers. When was the last time someone physically checked on you? Who's responsible if something happens? Where is your food budget documented? I didn't have answers that sounded safe. My Aunt Danielle, my dad's younger sister, arrived that evening. She hadn't known. No one had told her. When she saw the pantry, her face went pale. Not dramatic pale, quietly furious pale. "You're packing a bag," she said gently. "You're coming with me." That night, I ate real food at her house for the first time in days. Chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans. I didn't realize how lightheaded I'd been until I wasn't anymore. Meanwhile, my parents kept posting. Beach dinners, luxury shopping, sunset horseback rides. Every new photo felt louder now because it was paired with silence toward me. Miss Alvarez built a file. Screenshots, grocery receipts, my declining school submissions, dates of no contact. When my parents finally checked their emails and saw the formal notice from Child Protective Services, they cut their trip short. They walked into our house 2 days later expecting to be tired from travel. Instead, they found Miss Alvarez at the dining table, my aunt beside her, and me. The kitchen counter was covered in printouts, their social media posts arranged chronologically, bank statements showing no transfers sent, photos of the near-empty fridge, School attendance records. Dad stopped mid-step. Mom whispered, "This is ridiculous." Miss Alvarez didn't raise her voice. Leaving a minor without proper supervision or financial support qualifies as neglect under state law. My parents tried explaining it as a misunderstanding, a technical issue, a communication glitch. But the timestamps didn't glitch. For 14 consecutive days, they had access to Wi-Fi strong enough to live stream sunsets, but never once confirmed I had food. The emergency court hearing happened 3 days later. I wasn't angry in that courtroom. I was clear. "I don't feel safe being left alone again," I told the judge. "I need adults who check on me before they check into a hotel." Temporary guardianship was granted to my aunt pending further evaluation. My parents were ordered into parenting education and counseling. They weren't villains in some movie. They were stunned, embarrassed, defensive. But consequences don't require villains. They require actions. Life with Aunt Danielle felt different immediately. Not perfect, just attentive. She knocked before entering my room, asked what I wanted for dinner, checked in after school. Normal things. And that's when I understood something. Being called mature can sometimes mean being convenient. Real care doesn't congratulate you for surviving alone. It makes sure you never have to. Months later, the judge finalized guardianship for the remainder of my minority years. My parents could request supervised visits once they completed all programs. I chose distance, not out of hatred, out of healing. Today, when I look back at that driveway goodbye, I don't remember the bus card or the envelope. I remember the moments I stopped shrinking my needs to make other people comfortable. If you were left behind while everyone else chased luxury, what would you have done? Stayed quiet, or made sure someone finally saw you? Because sometimes speaking up isn't rebellion, it's survival.